Hello everyone, this is Insta be here. I am back with another episode of my Season 8 rewrites. We are on episode 3, which I have called Ironborn. It's approximately 54 minutes long. And it's well, if you can see at the title, you probably know what it's going to be about. Last two episodes, well, there wasn't that much going on. First episode was mainly catching up with the characters at Winterfell. Second episode was mainly catching up with our characters in King's Landing. Episode 3 is really where the story really is, progressing in sort of way. So nevertheless, let's jump right into it. It starts off with Theon and his men who are sailing towards King's Landing in an attempt to rescue Yara. He goes through the plan with his men, presuming that Yara is still on Euron's flagship. They decide to board the ship at night to use the cover of darkness. In the north, Podrick, Tormund, Beric and the rest find a good hill not too far from the King's Road. They set up camp there. Beric and Podrick go out for a hunt, and they have a nice conversation while doing so. At Winterfell, Jorah and Daenerys have a sweet moment together as they talk about their past. When Jon enters the room, Jorah leaves. Jon and Daenerys now have a romantic moment together. From a distance, Sansa sees them together and is obviously displeased. She talks about it with Tyrion, who thinks that the idea of having both a king and queen ruling together isn't that bad. Arya trains with her dagger. She bumps into Gendry and they have also a sweet conversation. In King's Landing, Theon and his men approach Euron's ship in the middle of the night. They board it and kill several soldiers in silence. Theon searches the ship but doesn't find Yara anywhere. They keep the lost soldier alive. And after questioning him, he says that Yara is in the dungeons of the Red Keep, and that her death sentence is being carried out in a couple of days. Theon is shocked and has no idea what to do now. Cersei checks on Qyburn, who informs her that the production of the Scorpions is making good progress. Euron discovers that the men of his flagship have been killed, and he alerts his troops to pull back closer to the keep for extra security. In Winterfell, the production of the Dragonglass weapons is also making good progress. Brienne is training some boys and girls from the town how to fight with them. Jon discusses several topics with the other lords. It appears that the men of Carhold and Lost Hearth have yet to return. Bran walks into a couple of ravens in the Godswood, and he flies them to the castles. He finds Lost Hearth being completely destroyed. When the ravens reach Carhold, he sees how it's being attacked by the army of the dead at this very moment, and how the remaining men are desperately trying to escape, but without success. The Night King notices the ravens and scares them off instantly. Bran informs Jon with this information. Jon is eager to know when the Lannister army will join them, since they have received no word from them. Podrick, Tormund and Beric cook a rabbit in their outpost. The three of them have a comedic conversation. In King's Landing, Cersei has one last conversation with Yara, who tells her that she's doomed to lose. Cersei then calls for the Mountain to escort her to the local square. Theon and his men sneak into the capital towards the Red Keep. They find a lot of people going away to a certain place. He hears about a public execution. When realizing that the execution is taking place at that very moment, he and his men rush towards the place where it is happening. We see Yara, the Mountain, Cersei, Euron, Qyburn and several other soldiers in the city square, where all the people are gathering. Cersei herself passes the sentence. Theon and his men arrive, and they struggle to figure out what to do. When the Mountain is about to behead Yara, one of Theon's men shoots an arrow at him. Theon's men all start to attack the Lannister soldiers who are present, including also Cersei and Euron. The Mountain rushes over to protect Cersei. In the chaos, Theon frees Yara from her ropes. More Lannister soldiers keep coming, and Theon's men start to get killed one by one. He orders everyone to fall back to the shores where they docked their ship. Theon, Yara, and some other men of Theon get chased throughout the streets of King's Landing by the Lannister soldiers. Several men of Theon get killed, but they eventually reach the docks and their ship. The last surviving men of Theon try to hold off the Lannisters as Theon and Yara board the ship. Then, Yara gets shot with an arrow in her back. Theon screams as she gets hit by another one. It appears to be Bronn from a distance. He has given in to his nature of being a mercenary. Theon casts out the ship and sails it to the sea, as all of Theon's men get killed. Bronn gives a signal to the Lannisters to stop firing their arrows at the ship, since he claims to have killed them. Yara thanks Theon and forgives him before dying in his arms. Theon starts to cry as he sails towards White Harbor. Alright, that was episode 3 of season 8, Ironborn. As you can see, this is quite a different episode than the other two. This one kind of, is mainly centered around the rescue mission of Theon to Yara, but it has, not quite worked out as we had all hoped, probably. I've actually decided to do an entire episode around the rescue mission. Well, of course, not the entire episode is only about the rescue mission. We also get an update in Winterfell. We also get an update in King's Landing, but it's mainly centered around around Theon and his men trying to rescue Yara. Because I thought that in the actual season 8 that we got, the rescue attempt was carried out in less than a minute, it seemed. So that was way too quick for my liking, and I thought it needed more time. It needs more efforts. It needs more, action. I think, and that's this episode. Yara is dead. Theon has survived. All of his men are also killed. Theon survived, luckily, as he's not injured or anything, and he sails now towards White Harbor, of course, en route to Winterfell to join everyone there also. So yeah, Theon has survived, but that's about it. Okay, guys, I hope you liked this episode. If you got any reactions or any feedback, please let me know, and I'll see you for the next one.